Welcome to another episode of Sons of Thunder. Sean, what are we talking about today?
Yeah, today we're talking about J.K. Rowling. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, she's the author of the Harry Potter books, right?
All right. And she's continuously under controversy for allegedly being transphobic. Do you know that?
I did not, but then again, if you just have a normal mentality of life, then you're probably...
Again, you live under a rock because everybody and their cousin knows this.
Or maybe it's just everybody you talk to or listen to knows this.
If you would roll the first video, Skeeter.
J.K. Rowling has definitely committed a crime. I'm legally a woman. She knows I'm a woman. She calls me a man. It's a protected characteristic, and that is a breach of both the Equalities Act and the Gender Recognition Act. What am I going to do about it? Well, I've been to the police and I've reported it as an issue. I don't know if that's going to be treated as a hate crime, but it's a cut and dried offence as far as I'm concerned.
Listen to the amount of victimhood that is being stated here. Getting documented as female, getting a passport that says you are female, that by no means changes the truth. And the truth that J.K. Rowling is willing to stand up for and say out loud that this is a biological male. And the fact that this person thinks that they should be able to go to the police and accuse J.K. Rowling of a hate crime and harassment for doing this is a level of delulu that I could only aspire to feel one day.
Delulu.
Totally Delulu.
Totally Delulu.
Yeah. I love Amalia. That was a great video of hers. Yeah, it's Delulu to look at that person there and not acknowledge that it's not a guy.
Okay, but first, what's the crime? Is she calling it like... What's the crime that's against a law of the land? What's the crime?
Well, J.K. Rowling lives in Scotland, right? Okay, so she's Scottish. And they came up with this hate crime law, which one of the provisions was at least the possibility that if you misgendered someone, you could go to go to jail for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you don't acknowledge reality, you'll be fine. But if you acknowledge reality, you could be in prison.
Okay, so the crime that was actually a quote-unquote legit crime was hate.
Well,
against...
Yeah, well, it's hate to just misgender this person who's clearly a guy, which she did, and this would touched off the whole controversy.
Man, okay. Hate crime by the Harry Potter author. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's just the left labels everyone. If you don't agree that men can be women, then you're transphobe. You don't think that homosexuals could marry, you're you're homophobe.
Yeah, I'm so afraid of them.
Everybody is a phobe or an ist. It's like if you're, or you could be a Islamophobe, or you could be a racist or a sexist. And if those don't fit you, the left will just call you a fascist or a straight up Nazi.
What if I'm a phobist, afraid of anything that's against racism?
I don't know.
Phobist.
I don't know what you're talking about, Gordon.
No,
that makes no sense.
No phobist.
Yeah.
Phobes and ists.
At any rate, these are all intimidation tactics. These labels are all intimidation tactics, and J.K. Rowling is not being intimidated by it. She keeps going on. The fact is, the woman does not hate transphobic people. She's all for them. They're allowed to do whatever they want to do as far as she's concerned, and as far as I'm concerned, and I think as far as we're concerned, right?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say she's for them. She's just not maybe so much against the person, but she's obviously not for them, right? If she doesn't agree that they're man or woman when they say they are, just because they say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's more or less the case. It's just that people can do what they want to do. It's
do what you want to do. Yeah, sure. Just don't force it on me.
But about a month ago, Scotland enacted this law that would possibly send people to jail for misgendering.
Really?
That is to say, you don't use the proper pronouns, you could possibly go to jail for a hate crime.
The thing is, the proper pronouns for what? For the government that made this law, or the person that decides it?
The person who decides.
Well, some people could change their pronouns in a day, and you'd never know.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just that you have to be forced to say whatever pronouns you they want you to call them.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. At any rate, Skeeter, play video 2 if you would.
Author J.K. Rowling is daring police in Scotland to arrest her for misgendering trans people after a new hate crime law took effect on Monday. She posted on X, quote, "I'm currently out of the country, but if what I've written here qualifies as an offense under the terms of the new act, I look forward to being arrested when I return to the birthplace of the Scottish Enlightenment."
Okay, so she's understanding, okay, I might have broken some stupid law, but you can arrest me when I get home.
She doesn't care. She's daring them to arrest her because she's just standing for common sense and what everybody freaking knows.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're the government of Scotland, you got some guts if you actually arrest her, because she's probably the biggest person that comes out of Scotland, right? I mean,
yeah,
that's taking away your number one star for your country.
She's got literally millions of fans, not just in Scotland, not just in England, not in America, but all around the world. And she had the standing or the courage to stand up, and she had enough light on her that she was able to stand up and be courageous about this and say, okay, you guys want to arrest me for just believing what everybody knows, then go ahead and do it.
Yeah, and I just because I said something doesn't mean that you're going to arrest me for something I said. That's a stupid law in itself.
Well, she could have saved herself a lot of trouble by just going along and with all this stuff, but she didn't do it. She stood up for what she knew to be right and knew to be true.
Yeah, more props to her.
Yeah, and as a result of this, the Scottish police said, we have received complaints in relation to the social media post. That is about this this incident. A spokesman for police Scotland in a statement said, the comments are not assessed to be criminal and no further action will be taken.
Okay, good. So they realized it's not a criminal act, right?
That's because she did it. Look, if it was just a regular little person, okay, a little person that that didn't have all that media power and didn't have all that light shining on them, yeah, they could easily have gone to jail, and this could have escalated into just idiocy.
I'm sure that Shem though is still angry about it, right?
Oh yeah. That new, what they call a news presenter is what she called this guy who's clearly a Fargan guy, a guy, and he wanted her arrested for calling him a guy, him.
Keep your pronouns straight, Sean.
Yeah. You
get really close to being a phobic and a racist.
Well, that's just
and a phobicist.
The whole phobic thing makes no sense. Phobe comes from the Greek word
fear.
Yeah, fear.
Yeah.
I mean, like you're terrified or something.
Yeah,
like
I'm afraid of them.
It's like it's not that anyone's afraid, and it's not like J.K. Rowling's afraid.
Well, nowadays you can't. It doesn't really matter what words mean. We're just gonna slap something on it and call it that. It doesn't matter what the origin of the word comes from, obviously, because there's a man walking around saying he's a woman, right?
Yeah, he's got a dress on and some makeup, so he becomes a woman. But that's just the start of it. She's got in trouble for misgendering other people too. If you would, Skeeter, please bring up photo 3.
Okay, there's a guy with some tats.
Yeah,
looks like a prison picture.
This guy is a transgender grapist, and I'm saying grape. I'm not using the R because for whatever reason, YouTube doesn't want us to use grape with an R instead of a G.
Okay,
and so I don't want us to get demonetized, so I just want everyone to understand that.
Okay, but how is he this?
Okay, this guy, he graped 2 very vulnerable victims. And after he...
Raped them?
Yeah. After he did that and got busted for it, he transitioned. He said he was transitioning into a woman, right?
Wow, that's a way to get away from it.
Right. So he got imprisoned in the women's prison.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's probably his dream, to be in the middle of a lockdown area where he's the only man in the midst of a bunch of women.
He could conceivably get a female room or cellmate. I mean, this is
probably loved
so
that.
absurd. And J.K. Rowling spoke out against it, and it's just like I can't believe that this is even an issue. How stupid that this is.
Well, I mean, that's the time period we're living in, right? You say what you want to say, and then we'll change it to protect myself, right? It's isn't it technically the way of how in the olden days, just like 20, 30 years ago, you could get away with it just by saying I'm insane. Now it's not insanity clause. It's, well, I was never that in the first place, right?
Well,
it's like an identity clause.
You know what? It is sort of like that. I mean, if I had to go to prison, I'd much rather go to a women's prison than a men's one.
Yeah.
And it's very convenient that you can just transition like that as soon as you get arrested and become a female and then go to a female's prison. But in the end, and I think partly because of her outcry against this asininity, which is what it is.
Asininity, that's a new word. We're getting a lot of new words today.
Yeah.
Asininity.
Get a vocabulary.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm the only one that doesn't know words around here.
Apparently not.
Yeah. Phobus.
Anyway, she made an outcry about that sort of thing, and that sort of stuff ended. And then also, Skeeter, this is a different one. This is just a total insanity of just the words and the language and stuff that J.K. Rowling pointed out.
Okay.
For which she's called a transphobe for.
Right.
For just speaking common sense. If you would bring up photo number 4, if you would, Skeeter. Okay, there it is. In this X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, this group commented on Saturday. Harry Potter author shared a link to an article titled "Opinion: Creating a More Equal Post-COVID-19 World for Those People Who Menstruate."
Men straight, not menstruate.
It's menstruate,
but they're talking about men, right?
No, what they're talking. They're just saying that people who menstruate, they don't want to use the word woman. Okay, let's see how Rawlings commented. Rowling said, "People who menstruate, I'm sure there used to be a word for those people. Someone help me out. Womben, wompund, wombud,
wimpond."
I think what she was struggling there for was the word woman.
Yeah, probably.
Because you can't use the word woman anymore because apparently women don't exist or we can't define them. Therefore, they don't exist.
So now we're calling them those that menstruate.
Yeah, we're calling them people who menstruate. And she rebelled against that. And as this article in the Independent said, the author's remark was immediately met with backlash from people calling her transphobic and pointing out that it's not just cisgendered women who menstruate. So apparently, other people menstruate other than cisgendered women.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But then again, as you've made it know, I don't know a lot of things. So I live under a rock. But I would say...
You don't have to be up on the news to know whether other people than women menstruate. You could know that even if you weren't up on the news. And
and I do live under my rock, like Patrick and SpongeBob. It's a comfortable spot under there. You should try it one of these times. You know, one of the things that about this is kind of interesting is that you could just have a regular, I'm going to call it moral idea or a moral compass on things, and because you act a certain way or talk a certain way, then they're just going to criticize you because you're not acting out of the norm. You're not trying to be gay or lesbian or trans whatever, or using stupid words. Actually, right in the news right now, kind of going to sports, Caitlin Clark is dealing with that right now. Caitlin Clark is she just got to the WNBA. She's a rookie. But because she's going to the WNBA, and I'm going to say that probably most of the WNBA is black and they're lesbians. Probably more than half of them.
I read that a third of them at least are lesbian.
Yeah. So, and those are the ones that are telling you, or that they've actually have a wife. She's not. She has a boyfriend, and she's white, so that makes her privileged, right? Even though there's tons of black people that are privileged in the WNBA as well, getting tons of money. And so
she's a straight white woman basketball player.
Yeah. And why is that wrong? You know, and just like Rawlings, why is it wrong to just be normal of what I say, what I consider normal?
Why does race and sexuality have to come into everything?
Yeah, even when you're not trying to do, you're just writing fictional books. But because I'm a popular author, I can't say whatever I feel. And, you know, I just want to play basketball. But because of who I am, I'm already targeted for that. You know, it's just this era that we live in, you can't do anything different from what they want you to be.
It's all politicized. And if you don't toe the political line, you're going to get canceled, or at least people are going to attempt to cancel.
They're just gonna push you down.
Just like they are her. They're complaining about her and saying, oh, they only like her because she's straight and she's white and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley, didn't he say, what is this, petty? These women are being petty that are complaining about this?
Yeah. We should actually have a woman here with us so that she can, you know, the woman can tell us how women are actually petty. Because if we say it, then they're not.
Yeah. But, what woman's going to want to be around us right now, Gordon?
Well, you know, that's a good question.
Yeah,
it's a good question.
I mean, you got a wife and she's not here.
You got me there, Sean. You got me there.
Yeah.
You always get me, Sean.
Yeah, you betcha.
Oh, my goodness. All right, well, if you like this episode or like this topic, please comment on the bottom. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week for another episode of Sons of Thunder.